Hopefully you can hear me okay. I can see some comments there, so it's good. Good morning. Welcome everybody. Today we are going to work on balance because our next 10-day challenge, which we're going to start in April, is going to be a balance challenge. So over the next 3 weeks, what we are going to do is just explore some balance exercises. So if you want to find your comfortable standing position, I was just explaining to the guys on Zoom, we have some really strong winds here, so you might, hopefully nothing's going to fall and land on top of me, but if it does, just keep doing like you did last week and just keep doing your squatting and I will be back. So we're going to look at balance. So let's just start off just by just shaking out a little bit, getting our body awake, as we always do on a Thursday morning, just tapping the heels into the ground. Really paying attention to relaxing and let go of the shoulders. And the back. Just let someone in who's joining there. And let's have a few full deep breaths just with a nice relaxing sigh out, just to get us in the zone, get us grounded. So full breath in and and again, full breath in, and relax and let go, and shoulders relaxed. One more full breath in, and let go and relax. Slow the movement down. Just give the legs a little bit of a shake out if the legs need a shake. Just the arms a bit of a shake. Let's get some mobilization of the spine. So strengthening the legs, mobilizing, freeing up space in the spine and the rib cage to prepare us for some really good balance exercises. So we go shoulder width apart with the feet, a little bit of bend in the knees, tall through the spine. Just do some knocking, front and back of the body. So as we're doing this, that back arm is just tapping the back of the body. And then your front arm just tapping across the front. So think of the strength coming through the legs, through the ground, and then the spine, and the shoulders, and the upper back are lengthening up, and you're just relaxing through the upper body. It's really windy here. I'm supposed to have a guy coming to do some tree chopping. I don't know whether he's going to come and chop my trees down today in the wind. And then slow it down. Slow it down. So we've done rotation. Let's just do some extension and flexion. So we'll do our standing cat-cow, or think of breathing with the spine. So extending and opening up and flexing. Open up, lifting from the sternum. Think of lifting the heart towards the sky. Nice and smooth. If you want to coordinate the breath with this breathing in nice and smoothly, as you open up, breathe out. Or just breathe however is comfortable for you. Just keep it in and out through the nose, but just breathe naturally. Let's do 2 more. Good, and then just come nice and tall. Again, move around if you need to. Shake anything out that you need to. And then let's come into a wide stance. So your comfortable stance, wide as you can comfortably stand. Make sure that the knees aren't dropping in or dropping out, and just rest gently on the thighs. And we're just going to start sliding hips side to side, and then upper body following. So we're just working on that spine wave. There's again a little bit of rotation through the upper body, but see if the hips can lead, and then the spine. And you can go slow if slow feels good, or you can go a little bit quicker if you feel the urge to move a little bit quicker. But think of strong legs and then nice flexible spine, head and neck. But we're not looking to create any whiplash, so you're not throwing yourself around. Breathing easy. And then slow it down, push through the heels, come back up to standing, walk the feet back in together. So as I said, we're going to be working on balance over the next 3 Thursdays, and then our next 10-day challenge is going to be a balance challenge. So again, it's going to be fun, it's going to be creative, but it's also going to help you to improve your balance. The first point to start with when we're thinking of balancing is looking down at the feet. So we had a great question in the Zoom session about footwear. So we could have whole hosts of conversations and discussions on footwear. But the key thing is to what we want to do is really make the feet work and strengthen the feet. Now in Qigong, there is a point underneath the ball of the big toe, my grotty feet here, so right behind the big toe and almost in the center, which is called the bubbling spring. And this is kidney 1 point in Tai Chi. And this is where you want to feel connection with the ground. So when we talk about toes, it's not like the top of the big toe. This was a point I was chatting to Rebecca earlier in the week, and Rebecca made that point that as soon as she was really aware of this, she noticed the difference when she was stepping and when she was running because of that lever length of the big toe to help. So just have a little balance and a little explore about feeling that point underneath the big toe in contact with the ground. If you've got shoes on, then if you're comfortable, just take the shoes off because you want to really just feel the connection with the ground. So just roll the feet in and out, side to side, and see if you can find that connection. Now what you might find is that one side connects quite easily and the other side doesn't quite connect. But it's a really key point because where that point lands really really determines how your foot and ankle and hip and knee spiral and upper body when you step forwards. So if you want to look about a little bit more detail in that, look at Google the windlass mechanism, because it's how the foot works when you spring forwards when you're walking and when you're running. So just have a little step forwards and backwards and see if you can just be aware of the long lever of that big toe. So just take that little step forwards and step backwards. So you might notice when you step, it touches the ground, and also when the foot's coming off the ground, it's there in the ground as the foot comes off the ground. So it's just an awareness. So step forwards, step backwards, step forwards, step backwards. And then just come back to balance. The other thing you can do to actually help to get the feet working, because if you think about it, our feet, for most people, are encased in shoes for years and years and years. And this means that the feet don't work as efficiently as they can do. So we really want to start getting our feet working. So for next week, if you've got a tennis ball or any other sort of like ball, this is like a massage ball, I've got a lacrosse ball. So for next week's Thursday class, just bring one of these along with you and we'll do a little bit of foot massage. So reflexology, Tom. So bring one of those along with you for next week. So we'll do a little bit more work on the foot next week. But for now, if it's comfortable, let's just have a little go of walking on our heels. Now, if you've got any injuries, if you have had any ankle issues, or this is just not comfortable, then just don't do it. Again, like with everything we're doing, don't push, don't force anything. But if you can, just flex your toes up towards you. Bring the toes up and just have a little walk on the heels. If you've got any Achilles problems or if you get any sort of like nerve feelings, then just stop. So again, we don't want to force or push anything. And then just shake out the ankles. Shake out. And then, excuse me, if it's comfortable, feel that bubbling spring and just walk on that bubbling spring. So you're walking not on your toes. So when we think about going on tiptoes, you're not on the edge of your toes. Use that really strong ball of the foot and almost spring a little bit, bounce a bit. See if you can feel the fascia working underneath the foot, the sole of the foot. And it might feel different. One side might feel different to the other. You might start feeling different things coming up to the legs and up to the glutes. So we're just starting to use the feet. See if you can spread the toes a little bit. Keep going. Somebody's just made a comment on Facebook. Let me just have a quick look. Keep going on the toes. The heel thing is weird. I liked it. Good. Glad you liked it. Do it again then. And then again, just shake out the legs. Now you might feel a nice stretch or a nice lengthening of the calves or maybe through the front of the foot. Shake out again. This will be even weirder. Go on the side of the feet. So now we've disconnected the bubbling spring. Put a little bit of low load through it, so you're almost like strengthening. Just walk up and down a little bit. And then I got a crack in my ankle then, give it a little bit of a shake. And when you shake the ankles, see if you can get them nice and floppy and loose. So there's a difference between mobilizing the ankles to actually just shaking. So I'm literally like shaking my leg from the hip. And then see if the other one feels or shakes the same. And then inside. So you feel it going up the legs, up into the hips. So we're just preparing, getting our base support ready for our balance practice. And then shake out again. And then just come back to standing. Stand about fist width apart, so you've got a little bit of space between your feet, a little bit of width there. And now just take a moment just to feel how your feet have suddenly become alive and woken up. So when we're talking about, if you're thinking of shoes, shoes are designed to support the foot or whatever. But if we just put our foot in a support and don't actually work it, then it becomes lazy, or it becomes rigid, it tightens. So if you imagine if you had an arm in a sling and we just said, right, we're just going to support that arm for the next 30 years, as soon as you took that sling off, your arm will be all over the place. It's the same with a foot. So we need to strengthen the foot if we haven't actually been working the feet. So just something as simple as that is really good to actually do each day. Now come up to a point which is just below the belly button, between the back and the front of the body. So in this standing position, this is roughly your center of gravity, and we can check that out just by shifting backwards, and right, I'm going to fall backwards. Or if you push forwards, right, I'm going to fall forwards. Now just explore how that changes the tension in the feet. So if we bring it back a little bit, you'll feel a little bit more weight through the heels. If you bring it forwards, you'll feel you're bringing your body over that bubbling spring. So your bubbling spring is more probably in connection, more load going through that bubbling spring. So just explore that backwards and forwards. So just a gentle rock backwards and forwards. And then find a sweet spot where, in a standing posture, the heel is designed to take the weight, or most of the weight. So find that spot where you're balanced and you feel really grounded and stable and strong through the heel. But also you've still got that bubbling spring in connection to the ground. But you can wiggle the toes a little bit so we're not gripping and grabbing with the toes. So there's a first point of balance. So we're balancing, if you like, the pelvis over the lower legs over the ground. In the standing posture also, we've got to focus on what's going on in the upper body. So we've just done a lot of mobilization of the spine. We've done some nice flexion and extension. Now, if we're in this position, just do this again without hurting yourself. Just almost curl in, bring your upper body slightly tilted forwards, and notice how that changes your relationship of the upper body to the lower body. So actually we lose that nice strong connection to the ground. So what I want you to focus on now is just lifting and almost balancing the rib cage and this whole thoracic spine on top of the pelvis. And in Qigong, this area down here is called your lower Dantien. This area here is called your middle Dantien. And it's a bit like having planets hovering over each other. So it's a bit like two centers of gravity. Center of gravity of this balanced over center of gravity of that. Who'd have thought balance was so challenging and so difficult and so much to think about? So balanced center of gravity of the rib cage, center of gravity of the pelvis. Now if we come up the body, what happens if you do that with the head? Wow, I've just lost that whole alignment, that whole connection to the ground because my head is pushing forwards. So let's think of the center of gravity of the head and just get the head just nicely balanced on top of the spine. So think of the weight of the head or the size of the head and the center of gravity of the head balanced over center of gravity of the rib cage or the thorax, center of gravity of pelvis. And then when you have those three centers of gravity balanced, there's your strength, there's your structure that we're working on. But actually now what can I let go of? What can I relax? My shoulders, my throat, my lower legs. And then have a little move around. So we're setting up the foundation for balance. It's pointless balancing on one leg or doing any of these fancy balance practices unless we first set this foundation. So find these 3 centers of gravity. So in Qigong, lower Dantien, middle Dantien, guess what? This is called upper Dantien. And it's like 3 little planets orbiting. I quite like that because it's not rigid. So I'm not going to start moving forwards like this. There's that flow of movement with these 3 centers of gravity all flowing and connected to each other. Give the body a little bit of a shake. Come back to your about fist width apart. Nice and tall. So find your balance with your lower Dantien, middle and upper. And a really simple way to think of this as well, once you've really tuned into these 3 centers of gravity, is connecting to the earth and connecting to the sky. So you connect to the earth, you're grounded and stable, strong through the feet, and you just connect to the sky. Wow, that wind is strong. You connect to the sky through the crown. So you just gently lift the crown of the head to the sky. Now I'm going to mirror you. We're going to focus our attention through the right side of the body. I'll mirror you that way. So the right side of the body. So really feel strong and energized through that right side of the body. And what you might do is just very subtly shift the weight to that right side of the body. So you free up the left side of the body or the left leg. So you've got about 80% of the weight through that right side of the body. And when you're confident that you're balanced and you're stable and you're strong on that right side of the body, just pick up the heel, just bend the knee, that left knee, and then balance. Now if you last there for 2 seconds, that's fine. Or if that's a real challenge for you, literally just peel the heel. So you've still got the bubbling spring of the left foot just helping you, just stabilizing you. So I'd rather you go to here rather than get to here and wobble all over the place or have to use something to balance on. There's nothing wrong in using something to balance on, but I'd rather we get to that point where you're just here, where you can balance, because then we're not relying on holding something to balance. So let's just go through that on the other side of the body. So I'm going to stabilize on the left side of the body. So take your time. We're doing this really deliberately and really slowly so our mind can connect to the body. It can tell us what to do. I'm stable on that right side, on the left side of the body, sorry. And then I'm just going to peel my heel. So I've still got my bubbling spring connected. There's still the connection there. And you can go to that point, or if you're comfortable, just bend that knee, lift that heel. So we're balanced so strongly through that left side of the body. Just breathing easy. And then step back down. Shake the legs out again. Let's explore, again without hurting yourself. If you balance on one side of the body, what happens if you then tilt forwards? It gets a little bit more challenging. Or if you lean back, it gets a little bit more challenging. Or if you drop to the side, you lose the structure. So just have a little explore with that. So just play around with balancing. Let's go on the right side. Even if you're just going to this point here where you're peeling your heel, you can still go, right, what happens if I do this? And then what happens if I balance now my 3 centers of gravity? So I'm nice and aligned, I've got that good structure. If you're here, what happens when you do all of this? And then just come back nice and tall. Again, that idea of lifting to the sky makes a big difference. See if we can not use the arms. So a few of you are doing this, which is great. That's good. Just let the arms relax, shoulders relax. It's all where do I need to be strong? Down here. Where can I relax? Where can I be soft? Breathing easy. Let's go back on the other side. So stabilize. Strong, grounded through this left side. So either just peel the heels, keeping the bubbling spring in contact with the ground, or if you're confident, comfortable, lifting. And remember what we were doing with the one squat challenge. It was about the quality of the movement, not the quantity. So it was about what is the quality of this movement? So what is the quality of my balancing? It's not how long can I hold this balance for? It's what is the quality? What am I feeling? Am I feeling strong? Can I feel powerful in this standing posture? Come back to balance. Let's just do one more each side, and I'll just keep it nice and quiet as you actually feel what's going on in the body. So we'll stabilize on the right side, balance, peel that left heel. Just go for as long as you are comfortable with. And then back to balance. Stabilize on the left side. Peel that right heel. Keep the connection to the ground, keep the connection to the sky. Step back down. Bring the feet together now. And we all know our ultimate balance one. Bring the palms across the belly. Feel how strong those feet feel now, strong but supple. Connecting to the ground. Lifting and lengthening to the sky through the crown of the head. And if you're comfortable with it, just close your eyes. And I'm just going to stay silent for the next minute or so, just for you to feel the body naturally balancing, the breath and the body naturally balancing. And then when you're ready, just on the next in-breath, just open your eyes if you had your eyes closed. Bring your awareness back around you. Rest the arms by the side and step the feet out. Have a little bit of a shake. Have a little bit of a stretch if you need a stretch. Good, excellent. We've gone back to some really, really basic foundational balance work. But what I'd like you to do over the next week is just practice that each day. So just do a little bit of work on the feet, a little bit of work on that balancing, stabilizing, lifting, and that bamboo in the wind at the end. So you're really tuning into your body balance, bringing your body back to balance. And then over the next couple of weeks, we're going to be doing some kicking work and all of stuff like this where we can have a little bit of fun. and we can challenge our balance, but get that foundation working first, and that will be really good. Okay, we have got tomorrow, we've got a great lunch and learn with Mike Mayer, who is a YouTuber with over 77,000 followers, subscribers. Interesting because he always interviews people, but nobody's interviewed him, so I want to find out a little bit about him. I've worked with Mike for a while, actually, over the past year or so. That's going to be a really good lunch and learn, so sign up for that. And I apologize to those of you who I sent the YouTube, not the YouTube, I sent the Zoom link instead of the YouTube link, so that was a private Zoom link, and Mike was going, all of these people are joining in on our workshop. Like, oh, sorry. So sorry that we had to throw you out of the Zoom, and then hopefully you managed to watch that on YouTube. And then on Sunday, for the squatters and for the premium members, there is that extra workshop as well, Sunday morning at 10 o'clock. So have a great day, everybody. Thank you, as always, for joining me, and I will see you all very soon. Take care. Bye.
Thanks, Rick.
Thank you. Bye-bye. Bye.
Bye. Thank you.
Have a good